Hi everyone, I'll be there in just a second. I have to fix this. Oh, such a rookie at streaming. Anyhow, how's everybody doing? I swear to God, I sat down here about an hour and a half ago, trying to get ready for the stream so I could start on time, and just I don't understand why I'm always late. I don't mean to be, but oh, thank you, Robin. Hi, how are you? Hey, Elaine, how are you? Oh, let's see who else is here. Lauren, Rick, Rob shoots photos. Awesome. Plato. So nice to see everyone. I've had a long week. I don't know why. Been I went to a photo job last night and did some shoots, and I put on a suit today. Yeah, thank you. I got so many compliments because I wore a suit for my last video that I did on the toilet paper challenge. So I said, oh, heck, I'll just start wearing suits, you know, because it's kind of spring now. So it's kind of like right at that point where you can still wear a suit and not get too hot, right? So I'll probably try and wear suits up until it starts to get, 80, 90 degrees out. When it gets too hot, then I'll just be back down to just regular shirts. But anyhow, hi, Frank, how are you? Serge, Peter, my goodness, everybody's here. Thomas. Thank you, Thomas. This suit was given to me by my brother-in-law. He bought it on eBay for like $30, and it didn't fit him, because it's a Hugo Boss, like an Italian fit, right? So it was a little snug. Yeah, Dave. I think you were the one that we caught up at one of the other streams, right? Either Peter's or Jimmy's, where people were saying I said I was going to start wearing suits, and then Dave or someone said, don't wear bow ties, and I said, hey, bow ties are cool, according to Doctor Who, right? I think he was the third or fourth Doctor, I forget his name. But yeah, Olympus blue. Oh yeah, that's true. Maybe I'll get a little orange handkerchief for over here, right? And I'll be all out, or get Olympus logoed in here, maybe. I know somebody that has one of those stitching machines that'll do that. Or I used to anyway, I think. Actually, I don't. If you saw that video I did of the sewing shop or alteration shop, she was a lady that could stitch in whatever I wanted into my clothes, but she closed shop. They're made from the same paper. I don't know. I didn't iron it or anything though, so it's a little wrinkly, but it's fine. Anyway, you guys were awesome. You guys all went to Peter's and Jimmy's streams. That's great. Hopefully we'll start to see them stream a little more. They're really good on streaming, I think, and really answered a lot of questions. I liked how Jimmy put up the pictures as he was kind of going through, trying to talk about photography, actually, instead of just jibber jabbering for a couple hours like I do. Oh, but one of the things that kind of interested me from the stream was actually from Rick. He was saying, Rick Bear, one of the viewers here, he's in the chat room now, that he said, take picture of silverware. I was like, or silver objects. I'm like, what's so hard about that? I just didn't get it. So, Rick, actually, if you can email or post in the forum some examples of like what would be a difficult shot, because I went on to Flickr and I looked at some pictures of silverware, and I'm like, that doesn't look so hard. I'm totally missing it. What you're saying, because if you say it's hard, I guarantee it's going to be hard, but I'm not seeing it. Maybe I'm not seeing it. So what I want to do, Rick, is I'm going to show you. I took a couple of sample shots before the stream. Let me see if I can pull these up. let's see. So I just got a couple sheets of paper and I put them on the table, and I got a couple of forks out of my drawer. And the very first shot I took was this one. I said, that's not bad. Nice shadows, you know, good texture. I mean, you can see the seam in the paper, but like I said, I just got 2 sheets of white paper and I curled one kind of up, you know, like your typical product photography setup. So it's a little dark. This one, it's okay. It didn't frame it right. But, you know, for just setting something up in a couple of seconds, I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, I just have to come up with some idea to create a story or something kind of creative. But I didn't see technically. I tried to illuminate the flash behind the thing, but that didn't work. And then finally I just overexposed it, and then my shadows got too harsh. So there, I mean, there's a couple of issues, right, that I can work around. But I'm just holding my flash in my hand and taking a picture with the camera. So let me go back to the stream. But yeah, Rick, you know, go into the forum and post an example or put a link to some examples that would be like a classic shot of silverware or silver that they did a good job on. And then I'll try and duplicate that and then try and get something creative from there, because I thought the shots I did just in, you know, that, like I said, that's like 1 minute worth of shooting there, I thought were okay. Now, if I spent some time on it, it would be, you know, I can make them epic, kind of, right? Maybe. At least for me. Okay. So Lane says blown highlights. Yeah. Dave says, okay, Rob, here's a tough one for you. Can everybody hear me okay? Just let me know. Because I put the mic up here instead of down here, but it gives me a little more room to kind of type on the keyboard and not accidentally hit things. But Dave says, I want to extend the height of my tripod to go over people's heads. I have not found a good solution, I assume. I don't know. I just collapse the legs together and hold it up over my head and set up a self timer for it to take 2 or 3 pictures, a custom timer with autofocus. So it'll automatically refocus each time. So set up a custom timer to take 3 or 4 shots, you know, with half a second between each shot. Very similar to what I did in my last video, but then just hold the tripod up over your head and hold it down, and usually you can flip or tilt the screen down so you can kind of semi-compose it before you start. So you may want to set the first shot to start after 10 seconds. But that's what I would do if I was trying to take a overhead shot of a lot of people, is just hold the tripod over my head and then have it fire off. Because I do that in my real estate photography a lot when I try to get a shot of a building. And I need to get the tripod up over the level of the cars and trucks, right? So I hold the tripod up over my head and point the camera down, and I have it on a self timer to take 3 or 4 shots with autofocus. But yeah, doing an extender, no, I'm not. Just extending the tripod itself, I'm not really aware of any. Put a C-clamp on their tripod, and then the extension tube won't go past the PVC tube won't go past it if you have like a clamp here as you go over the. I mean, that's all I can think of. Oh, hey, Solanto or Maddie, how are you? Try shooting a stainless steel shiny pot. Okay, I'll probably just use my softbox for that. Because I can see where there'd be a challenge with reflections of everything around the room, right? Like, nobody wants to see my chairs in the room. So I would put the pot inside of a softbox and a couple flashes and I'm done. Like I said, I'm just not seeing the challenge yet. So My biological clock now completely screwed. Yeah, poor Robin. Robin, I made a joke at Jimmy's live stream. I don't think he saw it, but I said, you know, Jimmy was like trying to figure out what time to do his live streams. You know, should I start at this time or that time? And I said, hey, Jimmy, just do 24-hour live stream, right? And then you won't have to worry about what time to start. Everybody will be there, you know, at one time or another. And then Robin comes in and he says, yeah, you first, Robin. I'm like, oh man. So, what was it in that How I Met Your Mother? That guy used to always say, challenge accepted or something, right? I might do that one day, do a 24-hour live stream. I'd have to have some breaks, but that might be kind of fun one day. So Rick says, I'll add a silver trophy challenge to a new forum. Okay. I don't have any trophies, though. I might have to borrow one. Silver trophy. I was never athletic, you know, or got trophies for anything in my life. Working longer hours with my job and critical infrastructure. Food supply was itching to do some photography on a beautiful day. Why am I here? I don't know, Rob. Go out and shoot, man. You can always play this back later if you want. No big deal. Hi, Craig. How are you? Says, I'm just starting to build my lens kit for nature photography. Would you recommend a 17? Depends what kind of nature. I assume it's a hard answer because I don't have enough information, but if you're thinking about getting like a shallow depth of field and getting up to close to flowers and things, you know, I'd say a 25 would be a better lens. If you're thinking more of a landscape kind of thing, then the 17 makes sense. But you don't really need an f1.8 to do landscapes, so I would say just stick with your kit lens, the 14 to 42. You know, because you're going to be shooting at f5.6 anyway on landscapes. And so, because generally the only reason you buy a prime, you have a very specific purpose for it, right? And so think about what you want to do specifically before you buy a prime. Otherwise, a kit lens will really suit most situations, right? Landscape photography. I'd probably say buy extension tubes so you can do some semi close-up work, you know, almost macro work for your kit lens, and experiment with that. But as far as primes go, yeah, I would think about what you want to do exactly, then buy the prime. And practice with your kit lens at that same focal length and see what you're not getting from your kit lens that you would be able to get from a prime lens. Whether it's, you know, being able to shoot in lower light or if it's being able to get a shallower depth of field. You know, that's what I would say is, because any focal length prime is fine for nature, but they would have a different purpose depending what kind you get. You know, so I'm sorry, I wish I had a better answer, but I think it's always hard to recommend a lens for something when you don't know exactly what you're trying to do. When it comes to primes, you know, the 12 to 40 Pro lens, the f2.8 is a good choice to replace your kit lens with. Maybe the 12 to 45 they came out f4. Not a big fan of that lens personally, but I would. But then it depends on which camera you have. If you have like a smaller camera, you know, an EM10 Mark II, the 12 to 40 is a little bit bulky, so maybe the 12 to 45 would be better. So yeah, I'm sorry. Tell me what camera you have, and then maybe I can make a little better recommendation, and then what you want to do. What happened to your hair in the vid, man? Oh, you're not talking to me. My hair is perfect. I am so blessed. Almost 54, and I still got full head of hair. Though in that last video, when I turned around, I saw the back of my head, and I saw a little bit of a little bit of a spot there. I'm not digging that. Might have to get some Rogaine or something. Anyhow, let's see. 24 hours of Rob, Elena. You're crazy. I could do it though. I don't know. You know, when I was in my 30s or 20s, I could easily do it, but I used to drive 24 hours straight going to Florida and stuff. Okay, yeah, go out at 4:30. Hey Barry, how are you? David Crooks says the 17 is for landscapes. Yeah, I mean it's fine for landscapes, but I feel like your kit lens can cover 17 millimeters at f5.6. So why spend $400 for a prime or whatever it is? More okay. So Craig is being more specific. More close-ups and more sunsets. I would try extension tubes first, because that'll give you a really shallow depth of field and will let you get close. So like, usually you can get them in for like $20. You can get 2 extension tubes, a 10 millimeter and a 16 millimeter, and you can stack them so you get a virtual 26 millimeter. But the 10 millimeter extension tube will get you pretty close, and give you a very shallow depth of field, and you only spent $20. But if you're thinking about, if you really want to get a prime, then I would probably suggest maybe the 25. For sunsets, sunsets are a little tricky, right? Because you're dealing, really the problem with sunsets is the dynamic range in the scene. Usually the skies are like 10 stops brighter than the ground or more. And really, it might, I mean, there's so many different kinds of sunset shots, but a 17 would look good for a sunset. And a 17 will get you pretty close for flowers and stuff. So I think for those two things, you get away with a 17. But like I said, your kit lens covers that. And if you just get some $20 extension tubes, I think you'll expand your photography a lot more than just that single prime. Those two things. If you're into street photography and environmental photography and things, yeah, definitely get the 17. I think a very strong case can be made for that. Corna says the 17 is too long and even a 12 is a bit too long. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. Really fun lens to get if you like really wide landscapes is the 9mm fisheye lens. When you do landscapes with that, they don't look fisheye. They look pretty natural, actually, because they're so far away. Hi, Robin. Robin Baker, how are you? Yeah, Craig, for shallow depth of field, the 17 will do that. You can get really close with flowers. Where's my 17 at? But usually when I'm doing flowers, what did I use the other? I used my 12 to 40 Pro. I would, I would probably, because for a little bit more, you can get the 12 to 40 Pro, which is an f2.8, and you can get really close. I mean, the close focusing distance is really good on that lens. And skip the extension tubes, because if you put extension tubes on that lens, you're not going to have much working distance. Meaning you're not going to be able to focus unless you're like this close to the subject, right? So, yeah, I think 17 is a fair choice. It is a bit tight, but at the same time, for sunset shots, when you have such a wide dynamic range, sometimes it's best to try to narrow down the scene to just the important elements that you want to capture, then try to expose for those elements rather than trying to expose for the entire scene, which is really hard to do. You have to start bracketing and doing other types of techniques to capture all of that dynamic range. Elaine likes the 45 for mountains. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people use semi-telephoto lenses. I should do that. I should take my 75 out and do that. Is the Olympus 17 made in Japan? That's a good question. Where am I? Oh. I got my whole setup right here. We don't even have to... I can just put my 17 on and tell you. I was thinking I'd go out for a photo walk yesterday, but I just didn't have time. So I brought my 17, my 45, and the 12 to 32 kit lens and my extension tubes. So this 17 says... Where does it say where it's made? All right, maybe it's just too fine a print. Made in Vietnam. Okay, it's on the inside here. It says made in Vietnam. And one second, let me get something else. I got my what's left of this rose from the other day. Let's see what kind of depth of field we get. Open it wide open. Take my art filter off. This is the camera I used. No, it's not. I just had it on that filter. All right, stop it. All right, hopefully you can see that. Why? Stop it. It's too bright, isn't it? Let me lower the screen brightness. There. I mean, you get a pretty shallow depth of field. This is just on my desk, and everything is within, 12 inches of the flower. And it's pretty much blown out, right? Okay. Anyway, I need to cut another one off the tree there, or the bush. All right, where are we? Peter should give me a trophy on my video for the toilet paper. Thanks. I did okay. It came out all right. Once you kind of get the idea in your head, what you want to do, then it's just a matter of figuring out how do you do this in the camera. And like I said, I'm really familiar with the camera, right? So it just kind of came together. Oh, Peter, how are you? Thanks, Peter. Peter Forsgard is here, Robin Wong, and Maddie Salanto. My goodness, we have three visionaries of their respective brands here. I'm always so flattered, when you guys come in, because it's my little channel. Is like I said, I'm just a guy with a camera, but somebody said I need to change my logo to say guy with several cameras. But honestly, it's really only one camera. It's Olympus, in my opinion. Hi, Jeff. How are you? He says, I have the 300 prime. My question is, if I turn on the lens image stabilization, does this disable the body? If it's a Panasonic, I'm not. Wait. Olympus has a 300 millimeter f4 Pro. I believe you can use both at the same time, but you have to do the setting in the menu system. I think it's called Sync IS on the Olympus. So you can pick in-body, or you can pick lens, or you can do both together. I'm not sure every Olympus camera can do that, only certain ones too. So you have to look in the menu. Which camera do you have? And I can check for you. I can remember where I don't have any lenses with IS in them, so I don't even know. Got to be under the C menu. You know, I don't have a lens with IS in it to check for you, but I would check in this menu C. This is where it would be, I believe, where you can sync the lens and the body together. But I'm not 100% because it's not. I just don't have any lens with IS. Sorry. Do ND filters help dynamic range? No, not at all. All they do is cut light. You can do the same thing. I mean, the idea of the ND filter is so you can use a larger aperture, like you can go down to f2.8 or f2 or f1.8. And because sometimes when you open a lens wide open to say f1.8, your shutter speed can't get fast enough on a bright day. You might hit your shutter speed limit of 1/4000th of a second or 1/8000th of a second in mechanical shutter. And so you have to stop the aperture down, right? If you can't lower the ISO and you can't get a faster shutter speed, then an ND filter cuts the light down so you can keep the aperture open. You know, and if you're talking about dynamic range, if you're talking about long exposures and things, then it gives you a longer shutter speed. So that's what usually people use in ND filters for long exposure, or so they can shoot wide open. Let's see. Gosh, I'm like 10 minutes behind here, and there's like a 30-second lag on the thing here. Oh, Robin's coming in with the dynamic range for ND filters. Yeah, it doesn't. He's confirming that it doesn't affect dynamic range, but he did bring up the point about graduated ND filters, where it's dark at the top and then gradually gets lighter. Those are handy sometimes if you have a very level horizon, you know. But honestly, it's probably better to just bracket the shots or do an HDR. Which lens for airplane photography would you recommend? The Ollie 75-300 or the Panny 100-300? And you're using an Olympus. I would get the Olympus 75-300. I mean, it's just there's always some issues. There may not be any with the Panasonic 100-300, but the 75-300 is still a very good lens, and I've used it for airplane stuff. Let's see. I don't use filters. Yeah. Oh, okay, Craig. Yeah, the EM1 Mark III with the 12-40 kit, if you can get that, that's the perfect combo. And you can kind of skip a couple of primes until you really need them for that extra stop of light. But the 12-40 kit is an awesome lens with that camera because of the grip. It's just very natural. I mean, this is the 14 to 150, but it's about the same size. With this grip, this is really nice. But I was doing a photo job yesterday. I used the 14 to 150 kit and my fisheye. I should show you guys some of those shots. They came out, pretty good because I get a lot of questions about, what lens to use in real estate photography, and I just use my fisheye and whatever kit lens I want to bring. I mean, the 14 to 150 is a little bit overkill. The 14 to 42 kit lens I usually bring. Let's see. Yeah, Lauren thinks the 17 millimeter is a bit overpriced. I see them discounted a lot though too. In the same breath, they are discounted quite often. So yeah, I wouldn't pay full price for it, but usually you can get a good deal on it. I paid like $250 for mine, and I think it's 450 or something brand new. Yeah, I wouldn't pay that much. Yeah, Dave. The Andes they only prevent blowouts in the skies when you can't get a fast enough shutter speed with the lens wide open. But you can just stop your lens down if you're taking pictures of skies, because depth of field is a non-issue. Oh, thank you, Rick. Rick is saying that according to Olympus tech support, the camera menu IS settings are ignored. You have an Olympus body with the 300 Pro. Yeah, I just don't have that lens to tell you firsthand. Okay, Craig. The 17 millimeter for $270 is a very fair price. See if you can talk them down another $20, but that's fair. The 70, I think you mean the 75 f1.8 for 500. That lens, I bought it, but I never use it. It's too tight. Everybody says it's great lens and it's very sharp, but that's a lens you definitely need a very specific purpose for if you buy it. Des is saying the 12 to 40 Pro focus is dangerously close. That is true. I have a little scratch on the front of mine too, actually. That's probably because I dropped it or something, not from focusing too close. Mark is asking, why are the leaves gray? That's because I have a green screen on. So the leaves are green and they're picking up the gray background I'm using versus the actual true color of the green on the leaves. So see how they kind of blend in with the green screen? That's why. But the leaves are actually very green. So when I dress, I have to be kind of conscious that I don't wear any green clothes either. Otherwise, I'll get one of those news bloopers type things where you see the weatherman come out and he's like all cut off. He's just a headless horseman when he comes out or whatever. Let's see. Any camera would do that. Let's see. Thinking I'm getting there. I think a used 12 to 40 is the best value for the money. Yeah, I've seen them for like $500. I don't know if anybody went to the Olympus. In the USA they had the outlet sale, 20% off everything. And I think I printed it out because I wanted to save this as a reference for when I'm ready to buy something to see. The 12 to 40 Pro f2.8 was $499.99 earlier this week. I think it was Tuesday or something. So $500 for a, refurbished, but that's virtually new. 12 to 40. That was an amazing deal. And they had the EM5 Mark II black with the 14 to 150 kit for $599. I mean, that's just that's crazy. They had some really good deals. They had the Pen F for like $569. I almost bought one, but they were out of silver. I'm not sure I want to get a black one. Oh, good. Ken said he got a 45-watt power bank. It works good. Thanks, Ken. Peter's giving some tips here, I think, on astrophotography. I'm not sure what the question was. But he says, measure the exposure at ISO 3200, then set it to 12,800, and leave your exposure as it is. Then in post, lower by 3 stops. Is that for astro? I've heard of a technique like that, but Robin says, if anyone's interested to know, if you use a non-5-axis IS sync IS compatible body with the 300mm lens, you can only get lens IS, and body IS is turned off. So when you turn on IS, you get only the lens IS. So yeah, that's what I was thinking, was that you can get sync IS if the camera's compatible with it. Only certain. So I would assume, the EM1s are, right? The Mark II and the Mark III at the very least. I need some blue contact lenses, huh, Mike? Actually, I've got kind of hazel eyes. They're just hard to see. Wouldn't that be crazy if I came in with blue eyes? Maybe for Halloween I'll do something like that. And Robin says that you have no control over which IS you use if you use Olympus lenses with IS. The camera decides for you. Okay. Thank you, Robin. Rick says, there are spies from other channels in the room, probably here to steal ideas and learn what the unfathomable Olympus menus are all about. Kostov, how are you? Glad you could make it. Let's see. I'll be hiking in the Sierras this fall, so I will have many skyland pictures, so that's why I was curious. I'll just go with a graduated semi-hard filter. Yeah, the only thing you have to be careful with those graduated filters is like when your horizon is not even, right? Like you have maybe 2 trees on either side, or you have things going into the sky, then, those are going to be dark too, not just the sky, and it's not going to look very natural. I had a lot of trouble with that when I was using ND filters, and then I had to go into post-processing and bring them back up, but then the sky, it's a freaking mess, but if the horizon is relatively flat and level, then you'll be okay with a graduated ND filter. Jeff says, great toilet roll video inspired me to use more of the camera's inbuilt editing. Yes. I'm a huge fan of all the editing in camera. I remember it was Ken Wheeler, angry photographer, said 5 things that he said are useless in a camera, 5 features. And one of them was, I think all 5 of them, I'm like, I use every single one of those all the time. And one of them I remember was definitely the in-camera processing. He said it's stupid, you take the pictures and you edit them in post-processing. Doing it in camera is stupid. And I'm like, I like it, I don't know. I would be very upset if I bought a camera and it didn't have some kind of editing in the camera. And there was some other things. He probably said art filters and things like everything I use in the Olympus cameras. I love, and he kind of poo-pooed them. Good observation there, Maddie. He's saying my hair is gray, so it's the real color green. You'll never know. What's a good lens? Craig is asking, what is a good lens option for star photography and new M1 Mark III star focus feature? Uh, I'm gonna try my 8mm fisheye Pro, because it's an f1.8, so it's very, very bright, super wide field of view, and that's what I'm gonna try. I can't tell you firsthand either, but I think you want to get the brightest lens possible to let in the most amount of light, and the wider the better. The 12mm f2 is a good option, but I think really I'd go 8mm 1.8 fisheye. You could a lot of people like to buy the Laowa 7mm f2. I think it's a 7 or 7.5mm f2. A lot of people said they had good luck with that. It's a LAOWA 7 or 7.5mm f2, and it's rectilinear, so you don't have to do any corrections and things for distortion like a fisheye. But a lot of people like that, and then I went with the fisheye, and that's what I'm gonna try. So you know, the the Laowa's manual focus, so the Star AF makes no difference, right? The feature. So if you're talking about an autofocus lens, I think the 8mm fisheye is a good option. Thank you, Bob. Bob said he enjoyed watching the videos from Peter, Maddie, Robin, and Rob on the creative process, and we're doing more. Actually, we're collaborating a little bit and doing more that so that you guys can see how we approach things creatively. We're not going to do it every week, but time to time we try to get together and say, how can we really help our viewers, and so we're always talking about how we can best help you guys to get the most out of your Olympus cameras. And so we're talking about doing another one very soon. Oh, thank you, Alex. So you're using the Star EAF now on your EM1 Mark III. I can't wait to try. But it's like I said, doing astrophotography. You need the perfect day for it, right? The skies have to be clear. It can't be too freaking cold, and you have to go somewhere where there's no light pollution, so you can see the stars. Because where I am, I can barely see the North Star even because it's so bright around here. And then three, it has to fit in your schedule, right? It has to be on a day you can actually go out and spend the night. So all of those things is really hard to line up to do astrophotography. Lauren thinks lens prices will go up in April. Okay. Maybe. I don't know. I just printed this because this was a really, really especially good deal that Olympus had this year. So maybe next spring I'll wait, because I've noticed the 3 years, this is the fourth year I think, technically I've been with Olympus. Every year they have a spring sale, 20% off uh the refurbished stuff. So I just wanted to get a feel for what it was this year, and I'm going to save that. I should have saved it as a PDF. I don't know why I printed it, but because I'm going to lose the paper. We need a new theme song. Yeah, you have to be so careful. Rob Kostov is saying he enjoyed that other video where I did the toilet paper, I assume, with the 007 theme. You have to be so careful with music on YouTube. They will flag you and your channel gets shut down. So I just use all the free music I can find on YouTube. Meaning YouTube says it's free. They don't, it's not like I just find music randomly. Corna is saying he's been sleeping with his EM5 as a toy. Do you miss the photo shoots as much as I do? I'm the work that I do is not. I mean, it's I'm starting to see a little bit slow down actually. Uh, in the places I'm going, the business I'm going to, that I normally wouldn't shoot, but because of what's happening, the buildings are empty. So they're calling me and says, Rob, come out and take some pictures of this. I did one yesterday, and I feel so bad. It was a thriving little business, and now it's completely shut down indefinitely. And it's very hard to kind of come back from that, right? Let's see. I think it was this one. Yeah, but this is a shoot I did yesterday, one of my real estate jobs. But all these people, they worked in this lab, and it's gonna be, it's empty now. It's really a shame. Whoops, sorry. Anyhow, oh man, let me close my door. This is about the time the mailman shows up, so that's probably who it is. Angry photographer's gonna be responding. He's all right. I watched him a lot when I was shooting Nikon, and because he used to talk about Nikon lenses a lot. Now he's like all Fuji, but he's okay. I mean, he says a lot of things that I wouldn't say. The Laowa 7.5mm f2 is my favorite M43 lens. Elise and Aaron. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people like that lens. I have the 8mm f1.8, so I don't need that, but yeah. It comes recommended quite often when I'm doing my streams. Marcia says, you, Robin, Peter, and Maddie are very inspirational. I am new to M43 and been watching your channels. Thank you, Marcia. We're all here to help, right? Kostov says, we have good light and can hold the camera with certain angle when a fisheye is mounted. We can reduce the fisheye effect and still include a lot of scene in the frame. Yes. Move to Arizona, Rob. It's warm, has great skies, looking for stars. I know. Dave, I just have so many roots here. Once I'm the oldest one in the family, God, nobody wants to be the oldest one in their family, but I'm not too far from that. I'm gonna move to Florida probably, but I'll have a lot more flexibility where I travel because I don't have to be within walking distance of my mom, for example, who's 76 years old, so I have to be nearby. Bought my Mark III refurbished. Awesome. Yeah, Hans, which Mark III did you get? The M5 or the M1? I don't think the M1 Mark III's there's any refurbs yet, but the M5 Mark III, oh my God. I could not believe the deal on that. They had the AM5 Mark III Or you're just not going to believe the deal they had on it. Where is it? Here it is. EM5 Mark III body only, $767 refurb. Did they have one with a kit included? I thought they did. It was shocking. Oh, yeah, that's an EM5 Mark III. With the 14-150 kit lens, $899. With God, I should have. It's so tiny. Yeah, $899 with a 14-150. I mean, it's a refurb, but that's $600 less than when they launched the camera just a few months ago. Rob Trek uses foam can holders for snoots. I find that those can holder companies given as swag make great lens holders. Yes, Mark, I do use them as lens holders in my bags too. Or I don't stuff my lenses in them anymore because they're too big. They were great for my Nikon glass. You know, they fit the Nikon glass well, but the Micro Four Third lenses are kind of too small to fit inside. So usually I put them in between the lenses and just stack them in there. But same idea, right? We're basically protecting our gear. In-camera bloatware is like unwanted software in smartphones. If you need it, great. Otherwise, I'd like the option of what features I download to my camera. Something for Olympus to think about. That is an interesting analogy. Because, yeah, definitely some people, you know, they think all of the extra features, the art filters and particularly the art filters, nobody likes those. I feel like I'm the only guy that likes to use those things. And countless other features, right, are in the camera. Because ultimately, all you need is shutter speed, aperture, and ISO to take a picture. Everything else in the camera is kind of extraneous. But anyway. I know what... Lauren, let's see. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Trying to catch up, guys. Give me a second. Craig says, I would be interested in how folks are capturing this crazy time we are all living through. Yeah, I'm watching a lot of YouTube. I should be making YouTube videos. But you know, every day there's something that, because to make a YouTube video is like 8 to 12 hours. And I usually don't have like an 8 or 12 hour window that's free. If I was better at managing my time, I could say do 4 hours today and 4 hours tomorrow, then crank something out. But a lot of times when I make my videos, they're just straight. You know, I just turn the camera on and I just start talking and playing with the camera. There's very, very little planning or production involved, right? You know, just like that toilet paper one I did, you saw, it was like, there was only 4 pictures in the camera when I went to edit them, right? I took the one where the flash didn't fire because I forgot to turn it on. Then there was the toilet paper roll. Then there was me with the silhouette. And the only thing I didn't show is I took one more picture because I was trying to make it a little bit darker, but it was too dark. But yeah, I recorded that in just basically one straight shot. And the different camera angles is like when I walked back to the M5 and then I walked up to the table, I just turned the tripod around and moved it. And then when I went back to the M5, I turned it back the other way. Anyway, I'm just making excuses. I really want to make some more videos. But the thought of it sometimes, it's so overwhelming sometimes. Just to make a simple video is takes a long time. And I know Robin and Peter and Maddie will all vouch for me, right? It's no joke. Dave is asking, does your camera compensate for the keystone issues with the fisheye? It does, but it only creates a JPEG. when I used 8mm fisheye. So I always shoot in RAW when I do my pro work. And let me go back to that. I'll just show you an example. What's a good example? Yeah, these are all ones I shot with the fisheye. So this might be a good example. Let me see. Yeah, this one I've already corrected, right? But let me make a copy because I need to deliver these. Let me reset this. But there's the fisheye. Is it showing at all? It's not showing, is it? There, now it's showing. Okay. So this is the raw, straight out of camera, the picture that I took, right? And then I have a preset that I use to correct for that. So I have it down here. And now it's been corrected, right? And if you watch my video on fisheye lens correction, I kind of go really into detail on this. And then what I do is, you'll notice like on the sides, I really don't know if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. I don't think you guys are. Let me try this. Hold on. There. So this is the fish. This is the corrected image from the fisheye, and then all I do is, because the distortion is really, like, if you look at this countertop on the one side, it's really stretched out and elongated, right, because of the distortion. So usually what I do is I just crop it in just to kind of eliminate that piece of it. And then I try to not use too much ceiling, because ceilings look really distorted too. And then I'm done. So that's why I like the fisheye, because it lets me capture everything, and then I can just crop into the part that I want to use. And I was in and out of this office in 40 minutes. I mean, it was a quick job for me. Okay, Maddie, we'll see you later. Of course, you've probably been gone for 10 minutes by now. Let's see. Hi, Julio from Spain. Oh, yeah, sorry, Marsha. I don't know what the heck's wrong with these email activations. They're just not getting through. I mean, if it's not in your spam folder, you're never going to get it. So I'll have to I've activated everybody manually at this point. So what I'm going to do right now is, let me go to the forum. Well, I'll do it later, but I'm just going to turn off the activation part for a little while for today, and then turn it back on tomorrow. So if you guys want to register for my forum today, just wait till after the stream. I'll turn off the activation part so you can just register with a password and become a member. And then tomorrow, I'll turn it back on. Let's see. Sony briefly had an app store for their cameras a few years ago. It quickly went bust, probably because they charged for the apps. Yeah, I would agree. Olympus should manufacture aftermarket grips with Arca Swiss plates. They did make one for the M5 Mark II. I forget what it's called exactly. Because they had two different grips for the M5 Mark II. I think it was like an HLD6, and then they had a HLD something else, but that had an Arca Swiss plate on it. But I agree, they should make one for all their cameras, not just sometimes, right? All right, Rob, go out and shoot. Okay, Craig. How people are taking creative photos of empty streets that still tell a story, for example. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, for me to find stories in anything really. Um, that's really the hardest part of photography for me is finding a story in the image. Plato says, what I don't like as a stills only shooter is that I have to pay for all the video stuff I don't need or want. Yeah. Yeah, Robin's confirming that it takes a lot of time to make a video. Johannes is saying, to whom it may concern, recommend James Pops' channel. Very inspiring photography. Yes, James is awesome. He's a lot of fun to watch. James Pops is. I've been trying to get him on my streams, to come in as a guest. And he said he wanted to, but his schedule is just impossible. It should be clear now, though, right? So, James, if you're watching, email me back, and I'll get you in on a stream because I know people are dying, or at the very least, do your own stream, right? I mean, people are dying to talk to you. I know. If you don't want to do your own stream, just come as a guest on mine. Uh, yeah, Rick. Yeah, that's another video I need to make about the forum. Um, I'll do that. What financial situation is the major camera companies if they need to remain idle for a few months? I have no idea. Every company's different. Some companies are very smart and have a lot of cash reserve and they can weather it. Other companies are, in debt or financed to the tilt. Everything is on loan. Uh, and they try to sell stock to generate revenue or generate cash, but that drives the stock price down. Hence, the market is going down. So a lot of companies, I think, I don't want to talk about finances. I don't know nothing about it, but that's the economics or general theory behind why stock prices drop. Is companies are trying to generate cash. I'm almost caught up with you guys. Dave Crook says, at Rob will do. Not sure what that means. At Robin Wong? Let's see. Oh, man. Yeah. Rick, the thing with form registration is they have these bots, right, that go in and register, then automatically confirm the email activation registration. So even having that layer of protection, quote unquote, to prevent spam bots, the spam bots already have that automatic email activation feature to do that, right? So they can register, 100 usernames with passwords and automatically do the activation confirmation when my site sends out the email. So honestly, the only way to really keep the site from as much as possible is I have to manually confirm every registration. And for the most part, you can look at the email and see it makes sense, right? And it's not going to be a spam bot or something, but you know, either that or I just make the registration open. People can sign up, put a password in right away, and they can start posting. Uh, and the controls that I have on the forum for that are that I can limit how many posts a person can make when they first sign up. So I can limit that to like 2, for example, right? So that in that case, you know, it might minimize the amount of spam, if any, comes in. But just having that activation process in of itself is not really a safeguard against, you know, protecting the forum against spam and things like that, because those spam bots and things automatically do the email activation registration anyway. So that's why I'm thinking about just giving it up altogether, and either just leaving it open for anybody to register and then put post limits, or to uh, do everybody manually, which would be very prohibitive, right? For most people, time-wise, for me and for other people, you know, who wants to contact me first before they register? Um, so it's a tough call. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Maybe my thinking is way off. Robin, and those of you here with the M1 Mark III with those new processor, do you think comes close to the AI in the M1X when shooting fast-moving planes and cars? It should be. I mean, they claim it is, but I can't tell you firsthand. I don't have any M1X. Yeah, John got into the forum okay. Some people are doing okay, right? I think out of the 40 some people that signed up, uh, roughly half had no problems at all. You know, then the other half I had to manually approve or send passwords to, because some people are saying they registered and then the password didn't even work, you know, that they signed up with. So I had to give them new passwords. Okay, Rick. Yeah, we'll catch up later. But I do know there is software out there that automatically does email activation when they register for a forum. So uh, my thinking is, what difference does it make then? If the machine is going to automatically activate itself into the forum. Okay, let's see. Robin Wong says, it is not as simple as that. It's easy for me to explain here. The quick answer is no. Really? You think Robin thinks the M1X is still faster with dual TruePic 8s than a single TruePic 9? Could be. Like I said, I have no idea. Camera does everything I want. Hi, ProRace. How are you? But Robin, yeah, you're making a good point. It does have the deep learning capability, which just means that when they made the camera, they put in a lot of like onboard memory to store all of that data. And maybe they didn't do that on the M1 Mark II. But I don't know if the processing itself is any slower. Oh, hey, Kostov. Yeah, if I manually activate it, you don't get an email. You can just sign in with the password and username you set up when you tried to originally email or set up the registration. Oh, okay. Thanks, Robin. Yeah, I'm sorry. I, you know, when all of these, when you guys are all talking amongst yourselves, I skim past those quickly, and then I kind of miss. I'm coming in the middle of a conversation, all wrong, right? Don't think James P has any excuses now. He is locked down in UK. Just everyone here might have fallen off his mountain bike again. Yeah, I need to catch up with him. He's a good guy, but he's very busy, or at least he has been. I don't know about now. Oh, hi, ProRace. Thanks for coming in. The Panny 7 to 14 on my new Pen F black and white is awesome. It looks really good too. Yes, it's I think it's a very good size and weight for Olympus cameras or Micro Four Thirds cameras in general. The only challenge I had with it is I got a lot of purple flaring or lens flare on it. Which, you know, for the most part you can work around, and it doesn't happen very often. But when I was using it professionally, and it was a problem, so I ended up buying the 8mm fisheye. But I did really like that lens. I still have it, but I think I'm gonna sell it. I just don't need it anymore. Who needs James when we have Rob? Thanks, Robin. We need to hear from everyone, right? I mean, it's just like everything. The more choice we have, the better. The more voices we have, the better. Zephyrin says he didn't get an activation code either. Wow. As far as I know, everybody's activated. I mean, I checked it this morning, and it was 100%. Let's see. Users and groups. Wow, crap. There's a lot of people here now. I'll just activate everybody real quick. Okay. There. Everybody that registered and didn't get an activation email, you're now activated. And you should be able to sign in with the username and password you got. If not, just email me, rob@robtrek.com, and then you can, I'll send you a password. Yeah, Robin, you stayed up late, man. That's crazy. When are you going to do your own live stream? It's crazy, though. Everybody's doing live streams now, right? I mean, Joe Edelman's been doing them for a long time. The last year or 2 years, he's been doing them every week. You know, instead of everything else. He used to do tutorials every week, but he's been doing live streams, which are virtual tutorials and live help. And but man, now Peter Gregg is doing live streams like every day, it seems like. And then I saw a couple other channels, not just Peter, but a few other channels. They're live streaming now when they've never done before. So there's a huge influx. I was hoping, hopefully, the bandwidth doesn't get crushed with all these live streams. Yeah, Peter Gregg bought an EM1 Mark II, and he's loving it. You know, we should reach out to him too. You know, and just get him in. Okay, good, Saffron. Yeah, everybody that's signed up, it should work now. I mean, generally, the forum registration process supposedly automatically bans people that are coming from IP addresses that are listed in some other sort of spam database, and you know, so you won't be able to register or get activation or get emails, etc. But so I turned that off because I thought maybe that's what was causing all of these problems. But people are still having trouble. Peter, you know, I have to email you a new password because when I was changing someone else's password, I accidentally changed yours. Uh, so I need to email you a password. I wasn't sure if I changed yours or not because it was late. I was a little tired, but yeah. Okay, Kostov got in. Good. Well, hi, Arthur. How are you? Good to see you. Robin is doing the virtual 24-hour guest on the chats or guest on the live streams, right? He's in the chat room. I mean, he was saying I should do a 24-hour live stream, but he's virtually doing it in the chat section now. My God, he's like just been on everybody's live streams. Yeah, 7 to 8 hours sleep. I've been sleeping well lately. I had one night of bad sleep. But man, I slept really good last night. Steve G. Okay, yeah, try a different email and register. And then I'll activate it manually, okay, after the stream. I'll go and activate everybody manually that signs up today. That's saying Robin's probably too scared he's gonna miss something. God, I hope not. Oh, don't call. I'm all right, Lane. I check my temperature every morning and every night just to be sure. And I'm almost hypothermic. I'm like at 97 degrees. But it's the coffee. Sometimes it goes down a little bit wrong. But my whole family is sick except for my mom, thank God. She wouldn't survive a cold, but God, my sister and her family. And they weren't able to get tested for whatever because they didn't meet the criteria, but they were sick. Thankfully they're getting better now. You know, the funny thing is, she said the next time somebody gets sick, I'm gonna make everybody huddle into one room so we all get sick together. Because the way it is now, one person gets sick, then a week later another person, then a week later another person, and the house is sick for a month, you know? And she says she's sick of that. I said, yeah, good luck getting volunteers to do that, Jules. I mean, if somebody's sick, you're gonna make them go into the room with another sick person? Or if somebody's not sick, nobody's gonna volunteer for that. Ah, that's a cool idea. Rick is saying we should schedule our live stream so it's like 2 hours, you know, so it's virtually 24 hours. You'll get one of us, either Peter, Robin, Maddie, or me. That's funny. That would be kind of cool. I think that could be coordinated, I think. Because if we each did 2 hour live stream, that's only 8 hours worth though. I guess I'd have to make up the other 16 hours. Hey Manuel, don't worry about it. I was late too. I always start 5-10 minutes late. So you know, I'm the guy that you tell when I was in high school, you know, it's like, Rob, midnight movie starts at 11. I don't think there's a way to sort posts yet, Kostov. I was looking for that myself because that's a pain to see the oldest one first, then you have to tab over to get to the latest one. You know, I'd go to a paid version, but I just don't want to spend 30, 40 bucks a year. Like have another subscription service for a paid forum for something that I'm just kind of using casually to share with you guys. But I'll have to give that some thought. But that's a whole nother area of research. Like I was thinking about contacting ep.43.com and see what form software he uses. I'm in over there because that forum's been there forever, and you know, it doesn't seem like people are having problems. At least not as far as I can tell. But you know, the forum that I have set up now, at least once you're registered and can get in, you can make posts and drop pictures, and it's very functional once you're in. But the challenge seems to be the registration process. Des is asking, Rob, what's happening with we send you photo and we all chat about thing? Oh, yeah. I did find a way to do that. Crap. I'll do that. Let's see. I have scheduled live streams though. I don't think I can do it this next one or the one after. Maybe next week, Thursday. I'll do that. So Sunday, what I'll do is this Sunday's live stream, I'll announce how to do that and I'll put instructions in the comments how to send pictures in that we can talk about. But I did look into that, and I developed a form that people can go to and submit pictures for the streams, and then we can kind of go over them together. But then I forgot. Sorry, I totally forgot about that idea. Like I said, it's been really crazy for me this past week. Anyhow. You take turns like you are walking 24 hours watching the army. Yeah. Actually, that's a great. Okay. Then there's the Sony rebuttal live stream for those hating MFT. It too runs 24 hours. Mike Hammerly says, after the last live stream, I tried the Olympus app for camera control, and you're right, it is not good. Fortunately, I already have the Pixel remote, older version. It works great. Good. Yeah. These little Pixel remotes are really handy. Actually, Robin, I use these a lot for making my YouTube videos because I can start and stop the recording from where I'm standing. I don't have to keep going back and forth, you know? So you might want to think about one of these for your, for making YouTube videos. And Peter and Maddie, I love this. So like I'm sitting at my desk, like doing a tutorial, and I need to do a retake, I can stop and start it right from the desk without having to get up and push the frickin' button. You had to make a different cable. Yeah, I kind of jury-rigged something. I just use audio cable, and with adapters, I had these here because I bought a Fujifilm, and it uses that stupid 2.5 millimeter jack. So I had the adapter already to fit into the EM1 Mark II, but originally I bought the USB version. Rob, you need a sidekick like a dog. I have a dog. She's a bitch, though. Literally. I love my dog. You're welcome, Des. Now the form won't allow me to get past the confirmation code with the new email address. Oh, God. Just email me, Steve, rob@robtrek.com with the username and email that you want to use. And I'll just add you manually, and I'll send you the password. Well, if it's not the PNW writer, how are you, buddy? Peter, I'm sorry, PN writer's been one of my followers since almost day one. I mean, within the first few videos that I ever made, you know, more than 3 years ago. And he says he comes to the live streams, but he's never come in and said hello. So I appreciate that. Thanks for saying hi. It's good to see you here. Man, he used to comment a lot on my videos too, but I haven't seen too many comments lately either. I mean, I try to remember people from their user ID, and then when they comment or you know, participate in the streams, but I don't remember everybody. But for now, my memory's pretty good. Rick's cat can watch me for hours, he says. God knows why. I guess because I'm always talking with my hands, right? See if there's any other interesting things I did here. We can critique the pictures I take. I did a really fun, I'll show you guys this one. These are all the different roles, shots that I took practicing of when I was trying to do that toilet paper thing. Man, I was practicing a lot. Then I was practicing outdoors with the flash, just hand holding, just to see if I could control the light. So when when I say I was when I say I made that video pretty much in one shot, I did make the video in one shot, but I practiced for a couple of hours just taking pictures, just trying to get the light just perfect so that when I showed you guys the tutorial, I could show you how I did it. But it took me a lot of practice, but once you know how, it's very easy, right? Must be my soothing voice, huh? Even cats love my voice. I don't think my voice is all that. When I first heard my own voice for the first time, you know how it is, right? You don't like the sound of your own voice. Lane says, I'm a very calming influence. Way better than watching movies. Oh my God. That's a really nice thing to say, but I don't believe you. But, good movie to watch. I watched, it's on Amazon Prime. My Wife is a Gangster, Part 3. That was a good movie. It's in subtitles and stuff. That was a good movie. Oh, so PNW Rider's been watching them afterwards. Yeah. I listened to Peter and Maddie this morning in the background because I couldn't stay for the whole thing when I was there because I had to go out and do that photo shoot I showed you guys earlier. And so I can see where you can kind of listen to it in the background. You don't really need to watch it actually, right? What's the red light in the TP roll tube? It's not actually red. That's being created by the cross-process filter. The lighting itself is just a normal white or yellow because I changed the white balance. I think that's what you mean. Let me double check. Yeah, that's just a I'll show you. You see, like this image on the left is just the normal raw image, right? The .orf, but I used a cross-process filter and it turns it red. That's all. Because what I wanted to do was I wanted to get that sort of, like in the James Bond movie, the blood comes down the barrel and covers the entire frame. And I couldn't do that in camera, right? But I said I can at least get red because the cross-process filter makes a nice red color. Oh, wow, okay. I didn't know that, Elaine. Well, I'm glad I can help. You can call me Dr. Rob today. How would Mag react if you showed her picture on a live stream? She'd have a double. If she's there now, I can pull up the picture you have from the forum. It's also your heart for others that is so compelling, Rob. You are a good person and we need... Oh, God, thanks, man. You guys are being so nice to me today. I don't know what I did to deserve that. Something I learned from your toilet paper video is that you can set AF on timer release. Did not know that. Yes. I have done that in other videos, Plato. So you've missed some of my videos. I forget which one it is. But I have done that technique before. PNW Rider is saying a tip for video. It's possible to use video at 4K and lower quality. Problem is the frame rate has to be the same. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not really following what you're suggesting there, PNW Rider. If you could reword that a little bit so I can understand it and others. Okay, good night, Barry. Thanks for stopping in. Mike says, I have a bet with someone that I can get a good handheld moonshot. Got any starting settings? I have the M1 Mark III. I have a video on where I did handheld moon photography. So just shoot for the search for the word moon on my channel, and that video will come up. But basically, I did spot metering on the moon, and the moon is, there are standard settings. I forget what they are. Like you can shoot at like f5.6, 1/800th of a second, and ISO 100, whatever those. There's some standard setting for shooting the moon. But that can vary a little bit depending on the position of the moon, how much of the moon is showing, what time of year it is. So just handheld spot metering uh, on the moon, and you can get a shot of it, no problem. But you can watch my video and see how I did it. Okay, so we have the cat pictures here for Magrat. Give me a second. Not there. There it is. J5. Are we? Bottom. Nope. There it is. There's one. There's another one. So I think this one's big enough that she can look at that. Is she reacting to that at all? I seriously doubt it, but maybe. You never know. All right, I need to go back to the stream. I can't see what's going on. J5, there we go. Hello, Rob. First time here, but a viewer for some time. Hi, Derek. How are you? Thanks for coming in. Derek UK on the forum. Good. Yes, I remember that. I will look for the moon videos. Okay, Mike. Yeah, I definitely have one. I just did it in my backyard. Don't worry about it, Plato. A lot of times you can watch a video, but then, at least when I do, sometimes I zone out for like 30 seconds because something else comes in my mind, and then you miss things even when you were watching the video, right? I have to rewatch movies all the time. Yeah, Peter is awesome too. Everybody, like I said, all of the YouTubers in the Micro Four Thirds community, Jimmy and Peter and Robin sometimes, just kidding. They're all really good. Maddie and James, and then Emily from Micro Four Nerds. Joe Ellis is really good too. You should check out his channel. I think he's technically a Olympus educator. I don't know if that's a separate title or not, but he calls himself that. But he does actually teach you things. I'm gonna have Joe Ellis on next month, actually, with another YouTuber. So I'm gonna have 2 guests next month. I have 2 guests next week. I should remind everyone. I'm gonna have Peter and Robin back on as guests on my live stream next weekend, and we're gonna be doing some projects together between now and then. So look forward to that. Kenny VA, how are you? Let's see. Says in the timeline when editing, PNW writer says in the timeline when editing, if you have clips in 4K and some in lower quality, it will look okay, except if the frame rate is not the same, the video will be jumpy. Yes. You need to basically, I think if you output at the lowest frame rate, like at 24p, I think the effect of other frame rates being in the video will have less effect. Because I had a problem with that actually on my toilet paper video, where I recorded everything in 24p, but then I uploaded in 30p. So there's a little bit of you'll see some scan lines sometimes in that video. It might look a little odd, but I'm not like a really hardcore videographer. But I found, like, if you shoot in 24p, or if you shoot in 30 or 60p, but you output in 24p, it'll look better than the other way around if you're shooting at 24p but then upload at 60p. So, you know, but I try to make sure everything's the same, you know. I don't know why I messed up that last video. Yeah, she actually saw those pictures, huh, Rick? Man, the real Joe Morano's here. That's awesome. How you doing, Joe? I always joke with Joe because I call him the real Joe Morano, because he he had a Instagram account, and he called himself the real Joe Morano on there, but now it's just Joe Morano. But I always remember him as the real Joe. That's the saying, Derek Force 2, but he's an acquired taste. Yes, I would agree with that. He's a good guy. He's a good guy, but an acquired taste is a very nice way to put it. Wow, you're working tomorrow, huh? Oh, okay. Joe Morano corrected me. His Instagram account is Joe Morano Photography. Yeah. That's better than the real I don't know. I like the real Joe Morano better. Maybe you should set up a separate Instagram account, your personal and your business one. I'm the real Al Pacino. I got my Al Pacino suit on today though, right? That's right. I'm gonna try and wear a suit every time now. Some of them are a little tight though. I've put on a little weight since I've worn suits. I rarely wear suits. God, I've only worn them anyway. Suits are not my thing. But anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here soon. I'm sorry, Joe. I know you just got here, but there's not too many questions here. So I'd love to hang out and chat with you guys, but there's some things I need to do later. Rob places hits on anyone shooting full frame. That's why there's less Canon shooters. That's funny. I have no problem with full frame. I love all cameras. I shoot mostly Olympus, but occasionally I'll whip out, something else. I need to take out, I haven't seen Larry Hayes in a while. I hope he's okay. Larry sent me a 6x9 film camera that I need to finish out and pay for. I haven't even paid him yet, so I owe him some money too. But he hasn't been in his streams or emailed me or anything. So Larry, if you're okay, send me an email. Let me know you're okay. I've not heard from you in a couple of weeks. But oh, Fotis is here. How are you? Gosh, you guys are coming in late. Who else is here? Anyone else here? Everybody here, just chime in real quick in the chat section. I'm just curious by name, because I can see how many people are here like you guys, but I can't see who's here. It's not like the chat rooms of old where you could see everybody that's in the room. A plaid suit? Oh my God, I will never wear a plaid suit. I got bad memories from that. I wore a plaid suit to school once, back when I was in elementary school. Not a good experience. So yeah, oh Chuck. How are you, Chuck? You haven't, yeah, I didn't know you were here. You're checking in. That's awesome. Patrick, oh, good. So a lot of regulars here. Oh, Mike, nice to see you. You haven't spoke out yet, but that's awesome. And if I missed anybody's questions, you know, just don't hesitate to ask them again. Yeah, Des and Robin. Robin's everywhere. He's trolling everybody's live streams these days. Mm. George, how are you? 1116. Okay. Lauren? The Beatles. Yeah. Plato's here. Yeah. Yeah, if you haven't spoken out in the chat yet, that's what I'm curious. Who hasn't spoken up? Who is the ultimate M43 color grading expert? God, not me. Why, what are you trying to do? Would love a few more videos. What kind of color grading are you talking about, though? I mean, for video, that's normally when you talk about color, at least in my mind. Normally, grading has to do with video. Playing a lot with Vlog. Oh, okay, that's a Panasonic thing. Gosh, there's so many good tutorials online for Panasonic people that want to grade their videos. You shouldn't have any problem finding them. Jimmy Chang, but yeah, he does great. His production quality is really good, but I don't think he uses Panasonic. I think Vlog is a Panasonic thing, isn't it, Joe? Or am I way off? Is there, what do they call it on EM13? Because I don't use log at all. I just shoot a natural profile. Yeah, Vlog is Panasonic. I thought so. So on Olympus, they have, let's see, they have picture mode. And I thought they had one other log mode, like Olympus 400 or 400 log or something. I don't use it at all. I just shoot in natural. Like right now I'm shooting a natural color profile. OM log. Thank you, Robin. I knew it was something. I mean, every time I shoot in log, everything comes out flat, which is, you know, that's the idea, right? To get a flat color profile. But then you have to add the color back in, and I'm kind of back to where I started. I'm like, well, I'm just going to shoot in natural to begin with. Why am I going through all this processing? But it is cool, though, to, if I was thinking about doing movies, it would be kind of cool to set a certain look for a scene or multiple scenes to all have the same look, or change the mood of the scene by color grading. And if I was in the movie production or making short movies, I'd be really into that. But as a just a vlogger, you know, I'm happy if I have enough light to record video to begin with. And then color and sharpness and focus is secondary. Once you shoot log, you never want to go anything. The difference is 2 stops. The dynamic range advantage. Yes, I've heard that. I've heard there's definitely yeah, you can capture a lot more dynamic range. And yeah, I think if you want to get really carried away, just on the M1 Mark III, it actually has 422 10-bit output now. Is what I read on their website. And that would be a big step if it's actually, I mean, all of them have 422 8-bit output on the HDMI port. But the M1 Mark III is supposed to have 10-bit output. But Panasonic's been doing that for a while in their GH5, right? I think they record internally 10-bit too, so you know, and I've always said Panasonic is really the videographer's camera. You know, if you're really into video, you should get a Panasonic because it's got the scopes and all kinds of other things that videographers really love to use. Somebody do a video showing how to grade the OM400 log footage. A quick tutorial would be great. Well, I can give you the basic workflow. Is you load the OM400 log into your editing software, then you apply the Rec 702. I think it's a Rec 702 LUT that you can download from Olympus's website. So Olympus has made a LUT, a lookup table for the OM400 log to kind of get you there, you know. But generally, you just you put the OM400 log in, and then you edit it the way you want from there. There's not really any hard and fast rules, but there is a standard LUT. I think it's Rec 702 or 709. Like I said, I'm not really a videographer, but there's a LUT that you download, and you can apply that in your software. Photo says he's thinking about getting the Panaleica 15-17.17 for his EPL9. It's an awesome lens. I mean, I want that lens, but I have a 17-1.8, so I just can't justify it at all. But I would love to have that lens. If I can get one for less than $200, which, you know, that's a pipe dream, but I will buy it. I don't care if I need it or not. But the cheapest I can find it now is like $300, and that's still a bit more than I want to spend for a lens that I already have covered with Olympus. Joe says, annoyingly, I can shoot 422 10-bit 4K, but my PC can't handle it. Yeah. Yeah, Joe. So you have to convert it, right? You have to convert it into something else. So that's what a lot of videographers do. They'll record in that 422 10-bit, you know, log file, and then they'll what do they call it? They'll render it into a different format, and then, you know, that might take overnight depending on how much footage it is. But they'll render it in a different format, then come back and edit it in that new format. I forget what that process is called, but that's what a lot of videographers do. ETT are good for photo or video. It's mainly a photo thing. Mostly for photographers, you know, because they use the histograms. Videographers, they use scopes, a little bit different kind of graph. They don't use the histogram quite as much. Joe's got a lot of experience here with the Panasonics. Yeah, we've lost Plato. Now we're talking code, right? No news, Jeff, on the 150 to 400. It's just one of those things, you know, they'll announce it when they announce it. Nobody really has any inside scoop on what Olympus is going to do, unfortunately. Even if we worked at Olympus, we'd be under like a do not disclose or whatever they call those things. We wouldn't be able to say anyway. Oh, okay, Joe. Yeah, you should make a video. You could be the next big YouTuber on YouTube. You know, just take Peter McKinnon out, make him look like small fry compared to you. You could do it, Joe. Oh, Resolve doesn't do that, huh? Dang. Oh, you know what? My battery died. Oh. It's okay, I'm still here. I just have to swap the battery. Give me 1 second. I forgot to change the battery before I started the stream. So this battery had was the one from last night when well, no, it's not, but I turned the camera on about an hour before I started the stream. Ugh, my disaster of a room. You'd think, you know, I'd have time to clean this place, but... Okay. There we go. Okay, yeah, I don't know, Mike. So you found the LUT, but you didn't see one for Premiere Pro. Yeah, I wish I could help you more on that. I don't use Premiere. Oh, the Vlog upgrade gave waveforms. Yeah, that seems to be what people use more than histograms. And then I think the false color screens that you can get, I don't know if you can do that in camera, but a lot of people use external monitors with false color. Oh, that's an interesting point, cost of that. Olympus might take their time releasing the 150 to 400 because the Olympics got postponed. You know, Joe, I downloaded like one of those free 35 LUTs from somewhere. I got like 35 different LUTs for free from somewhere, and I played with one. I got one or two videos where I used kind of a nostalgic LUT on one of them. But since then, I haven't done anything. That was you, Rick. You called me a Duracell bunny. Wasn't that you? Someone did that once, though. I remember. Oh, it was Play-Doh. Okay. So Rick, I don't know. I know that does ring a bell. Yeah, video is I enjoy video. I like vlogging, but I haven't actually taken, you know, I have a few videos on my channel where I just tried to make a video that wasn't about anything other than the video itself. Like my last day of summer, and they were okay. I mean, they were totally amateur, right? Totally amateur hour as far as videos go. But they were fun to make. Lutify LUTs are very good also. Okay. Was it you, Robin? Did you call me the Duracell bunny? Mm. I think I'm gonna call it, guys. I need to keep my streams down to just 2 hours or less now. Finding it hard to find watchable content on YouTube, really. I know a good one you can watch, Joe. Dry Bar Comedy. That's a good channel. Dry Bar Comedy. I was watching one this morning. It was hilarious. Huh. Okay. Everyone, I'm going to call it. Thanks so much for coming in today. I appreciate it. It's always fun to hang out and chat with you guys. Again, next week, I'm going to have Robin and Peter on in my live stream on Sunday next week. So stay tuned for that. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday. And also this Sunday, I'm going to try and announce a way for you guys to upload pictures so that we can kind of look at them together and share what's going on. You know, another way might be just upload them into a forum. So I'll give that some thought between now and Sunday, and I'll let you know how to do that. Oh, Parsley, you want to ask a technical question? Yeah, you can squeeze one in at the last second. That's fine. Robin's here, so if I can't answer it, he can. Jimmy Carr. I was watching something. I'm gonna wait for Parsley to ask a question, but um, your favorite line is Ricky Jarvis in Ghost Town. Ricky Jarvis. Is he the guy from The Office? You can have my comeback once I scared off your mom's teeth. Oh. Wow. That's bad. I get it. Yeah, Parsley says, okay, why are people's legs out of focus? The stills on from Casablanca, for example. Uh, if they're taking a picture of a person's face and their legs are out of focus, is most likely, the legs are out of the focus plane, but it would be out of the focus plane because they're using too shallow depth of field. Their lens is too wide open. So all they'd have to do is stop the lens down. But, it just kind of depends, like if the person's face is up here, this is the focal plane. Even if their legs are on the same focal plane, they're still further away from the lens, right? Based on the angle. Like this angle is longer than, well, this angle. So say this is the camera, right? And this is the person's face. From here to here is shorter than from here to here, right? That's basic geometry. So the feet and the legs and everything down here can be out of focus because it's further away from the lens, and they're using a very, very shallow depth of field. So I think hopefully that answers your question, particularly if they're focusing on the face up here. Now, if they frame it like a full body shot from top to bottom, the whole body fills the frame like this, it's less likely the legs will be out of focus because they're on the same frame. But usually at least one leg is in focus because that's where the person has to put all their weight to stand. If they're just putting most of their weight on one leg, that should be a straight line up to the person's face, right? But that would be my best guess. Too shallow depth of field, and the distance from the feet to the lens is further than the face to the lens. Oh, thanks, Robin. I think that makes sense, right? I'm just guessing, though. I have not watched. I don't have Netflix, Joe. So, I haven't seen that. I don't know, Parsley, did that make sense? Let me know if I didn't quite answer the question right. Because it really depends on how the person is framed in the image. Pythagorean's theorem. Okay, good. And Rick has some feedback too about stills from films are often reshoots of prints from the film negative. In some cases, they blur everything apart from the stars' faces. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's in reference to the Casablanca example, right? If you're looking at images from film, yeah, they take those pictures again and then they intentionally make that blur. But in the field, if you're actually taking a picture with a digital camera, it's basically geometry, right? Which, triangles are my favorite subject. Everything looks better with triangles, right? I mean, if you look at anything, like I'm wearing this suit, I have a triangle here, right? And if you look at Superman, he always stands like this, right? So you have a triangle like in the armpits, and then he stands with his legs apart. You have another triangle down there. So whenever you can, or whenever I can, I always look for triangles in my photography to make things look, to have some, I don't know, I just love triangles. Triangles always look good in pictures, in my opinion. How do I get along without Netflix? I don't know. I got Amazon Prime. That's enough, and YouTube. I do miss. I used to have Netflix. I do miss some of my shows. I used to watch Lost in Space when it came out 2 years ago, and or a little over a year ago. It kind of, you can binge watch them, right? Uh, let's see. That was my favorite. Breaking Bad was a good one. I watched a lot of that. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice to have Prime and Netflix and Hulu and YouTube because they have that show, the whatchamacallit. I want to watch Cobra Kai on YouTube, but I can't subscribe to like 4 or 5 different streaming services. I had to pick one. I just don't, I don't have money like that. I mean, I got a nice suit, but this was given to me for free. And most of my clothes I buy at Goodwill, and because I spend all my money on gear. All my gear. Oh, I need to go out and shoot with it and make some videos. But I'm gonna try and do another legit video one day when it gets a little warmer and make a nice video just using the Olympus in-camera art filters and things. I really wish, that entertainment would go back to the commercial-based viewing experience, like the CW I watch. I watch um Supernatural, right? Yeah, there's a commercial time to time, but it's free. I don't have to subscribe to anything. And then, so I like commercials because I can watch for free, right? Just like this channel, my channel on YouTube, you can watch me for free, but there's ads, right? Time to time. I mean, I like that model. I hate, can you imagine if you had to pay like a fee to watch my channel? Like if I started a membership or charged, a monthly fee for you guys to watch anything, that nobody would do that. My content's not that good. But if you'll watch it if there's just a couple of commercials here and there, you might pick up 1 or 2 nuggets from my YouTube channel, right? But nobody would pay for my channel. And that's the problem I have with all these subscription services. I want to watch Star Trek Picard, and thank God they have some kind of free deal now. I can watch Picard. Because they were behind a paywall, but now they have some coupon you can use to get it for free. Oh, but it's just it's yeah, commercials, please bring back commercials so we can watch everything instead of having to buy a dang subscription service like Disney. They got a subscription service now. It just drives me nuts. Rob Triangle, he has all the angles. That's right. I got a good triangle joke too. I am always the angle opposite the hypotenuse. Why? Does anyone know the answer? Anyone can get that. I am always the angle opposite the hypotenuse. Kenny's close. Bob, good job. You got it. I'm always right. That's right. The funniest word in math to me is rhombus. I know it's like some geometrical shape with so many sides, but a rhombus. Why? I could never say that word with a straight face when I was in school. But geometry was my favorite subject in school. Um, God, this is so much about photography, isn't it? What what element has one Electron. Anybody know that one? It's a trick question, but can anybody answer that? A multi-passenger vehicle in Rome. Hydrogen. You're all wrong. They all have one electron. Trick question. No, Rick. This was not out of the trash bin, though I've been tempted. I do pick up a lot of stray things on the street, though, when I'm doing my photo walks. Like scarves and gloves. I find those laying in the street sometimes. So I got a lot of left or right gloves. I don't have a match set, but I got a lot of onesies that I'll put together and have like a pair of gloves. Oh, Rome bus. Oh God, I'm so slow. I'm so slow. The comedy act now. God no. But seriously, well, dang, now like people are coming back in now that I told a couple jokes. Man, I don't know anymore off the top of my head. Where do pencil? Well, that's sort of a U.S. joke, but where do pencils go to on vacation? They go to Pennsylvania. Oh, here's one. Why do why did the witch go back to school? She had trouble with her spelling. Oh God, this joke. I didn't get it at first, right? Like this kid told me this joke, and I didn't get it at first. And about 30 minutes later, I finally got it. And for like 3 or 4 days, I could not stop laughing. I could not even tell anybody the joke because I would get halfway through the joke and then I would lose it and I couldn't finish it. And people would be laughing just because I was laughing, not because they heard the joke, right? But this is the joke. What do you get when you cross a brown chicken with a brown cow? Has anybody heard this joke? I'm just curious. What do you get when you cross a brown chicken with a brown cow? Oh, you gave up on Picard. That's interesting. I liked the first episode because that was free. Okay, what do you get when you cross a chicken with a brown chicken with a brown cow? Okay, this is the answer. Brown chicken, brown cow. I don't know why. I don't know why. For days I could not tell that joke because I would just bust out laughing. Andy and Randy from the Muppets. No, I don't remember them. I did watch the Muppets though when I was a kid. Ah, you were close, huh, Elaine? You almost got that. Yeah, I don't know why I found that joke so funny at the time. I could not stop. I heard another one. Like what did the elephant say to the naked man? Anyone? Elaine says I have a chihuahua on Facebook. A chihuahua page on Facebook called Bao Chihuahua. That's funny. Bao Chihuahua. Anyway, what did the elephant say? No. What did the elephant say to the naked man? The elephant said, "How do you breathe out of that thing?" All right. I think I'll end it on that. We'll end on a high note, right? quote unquote. That joke was bad. But I do need to go. So thanks again, everybody, for coming in, and we'll see you guys again on Sunday. I think I'm gonna do 9 or 9:30. I'll put a link up on my channel when I get there. All right, thanks again. You're close, Elaine.